Welcome to the Greeting Mashiach podcast, episode 29. Today, we're going to be discussing and showing you some of the Rebbe's minus on the subject of Greeting Mashiach. One of the most contentious topics that I've encountered on, speaking to people about Mashiach, and it's, so to speak, the final step. Even if they're totally on board that the Rebbe's Mashiach and the Rebbe's Nasi Hader and all of the great things and sichos and Aleph and Beis, there's kind of a hang-up, and that's really the point of this podcast. Does it really matter, though, that the Rebbe is Mashiach? And so what if he is? Is that really pshat and chayesar and Beis? Do we have to greet the Rebbe as Mashiach? Is that what that's really about? Didn't the Rebbe say that it's not a good thing to talk that he's Mashiach? Isn't that negative? Don't we have so many minus and stories seemingly about the Rebbe saying that it's not a good thing and it's merachik people from Yiddishkeit, and it's not so clear? Who said it's even important? Who said that it's important? People should know that Rebbe's Mashiach. Who said it's important that it has to be that you're greeting the Rebbe's Mashiach? People should kach in Mashiach. People should kach in Gula. That's what Kabbal's Pnei Mashiach Tzkeinu means. Why get caught up on this trivial thing that's only doing negative, only being merachik people? This is a common refrain you'll hear from people if you ever make it that far into the conversation. And they have a good point, l'chayra. You know what? What's really the difference? Who really cares? Apparently the Lubavitch Rebbe. At least that's what we're going to try to convince you today. So buckle in your seatbelts and let's take a look at some of the Rebbe's own responses. When people ask him this question, we don't have to guess. We could know with absolute certainty, to quote Moshiach, we can know with absolute certainty because we have the Rebbe's minus on the subject. Let's take a look. Levi, what have you got for us?
Yeah, so before I actually jump in, I just want to add to what you were saying that there's also something very, very profound that looking into all these answers, something that someone pointed out, very geschmack, is that like we're going to see these answers are on things that don't make sense to be done if we're holding in a place of we're trying to get to the Geula, we're trying to get to Mashiach. Right. One of the other claims that you'll hear a lot is, those few years where the Rebbe was kaching in Mashiach, and they like to say that the Rebbe was trying very, very hard to, like sort of like a last stand, like this is it, like and it's spearheaded by the famous sicha of Koyach Nisan, where the Rebbe is telling us how let's do this, let's get this done. Voicing his frustration at how the Gola isn't here. So a lot of people see the last sichos as, the Rebbe really going full throttle, full force ahead, trying really, really hard to the point where so many people are doing things and there's such a Mashiach energy and the Rebbe is telling people to kach in Mashiach and learn about Mashiach. But why is the Rebbe telling us to do that? Because we're trying to bring about the full, complete redemption. We're trying to bring Mashiach. But something that is so...
People lose focus of the actual facts in the ground. They just they lose the trees for the forest, and they just say, oh, it was one big forest of Mashiach. And it's like, let's stop and take a look at what the Rebbe actually said. You're looking at the wrong forest here. It's not this wasn't a big Yehi Ratzon. It was for real.
And also something that, like right now, we're not necessarily going to focus on the sichos per se, because the sichos, you can understand them in a certain way. But these answers, the Rebbe is responding to things that people are doing because they understand the Rebbe to mean that we are already holding in the process. We're already holding in the Geula process. We're already holding after we finished the Avodas HaBerurim, after we finished everything that we needed to do in Galus to earn the Geula. So now that we've done that, now there's something else that we need to do. So all the people that are doing these acts that the Rebbe is answering, that the Rebbe is responding to, are things that do not make sense to be done if we're still in Golus. If we're still holding in a matziv of we still need to earn the Geula, we still need to bring Mashiach, then it doesn't make sense what you're doing, like the many responses that everybody knows about, where the Rebbe was responding negatively to those act was because you're hindering the geula, you're hindering the coming of Mashiach. So why
The
a
only
sudden
reason for it
change?
all to change is if we actually.
Is if
That's the
Mashiach
question.
came, correct? If
Was the
Mashiach
Rebbe
was here,
when the Rebbe told us all these things? Was he joking around or did he really mean it? We either did or didn't finish the Avodah of Golos. You can't have it both ways.
correct. So let's jump in, and I don't know what order it's in, but we'll start. If you want to read,
Take a look. All right. This is from Dalet Shvat. I'm assuming Tafshin and Beis.
Yeah.
Mine, this is an answer to Reb Chaim Baruch Halberstam that he wrote Shekosav Duch Mishidur Shel Kabbalas Pnei Chak Adash Melech
Kabbalas Panim.
HaMashiach. Kabbalas Panim. So there was a Kabbalas Panim, a whole sort of welcoming, greeting Mashiach for the Rebbe as Melech HaMashiach. And who did this? There was a whole what's a shidur, a live stream? What's
I guess, yeah.
There was some sort of event, and the teichen of this event was being mekabel the Rebbe as Melech HaMashiach. Ayidei, who made it in Hashem Nes Chabad Shetichya. That was what Chaim Baruch sent into the Rebbe. The Rebbe responded, Niskabel, v'tach mishuas chein. That's an expression of goodwill that you're bringing the Rebbe a lot of nachas. He's very happy. Also, Niskabel, I received it, v'tach, and shuas chein, al an nachas ruach shegarim began, that the great pleasure you're causing, the pleasure that you're causing me and you're continuing to cause. Shegarim that you have previously caused, Gedim and you're currently causing. Ask I'll see and I'll mention you by the oil. So the Rebbe is beferish saying here, there was a whole event to greet the Rebbe as Melech HaMashiach. Clearly, that was the point of the event. The Neshei B'nei Chabad getting together, a big Kabbalah spotting for the Rebbe as Melech HaMashiach. And the Rebbe is saying, thank you so much, please, for doing this and for continuing to do this. This is great.
Yeah, right. Again, like I said, imagine this was done when we still have to bring Mashiach. Like it doesn't make any sense. Obviously, these people are doing it based on the knowledge that the Rebbe gave us. The Rebbe told us through in the Sikh. Again, right now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to broaden your perspective on the years surrounding this, the events surrounding those sichos. You can learn the sikha and you can understand whatever you want. And then there is, based on those understandings, there is behaviors, correct. There's things that people did. For example, over here, the Neshei Chabad and the daughters of Chabad in Crown Heights, they made a Kabbalas Panim for the Rebbe being Mashiach, as Melech HaMashiach, and the Rebbe is responding to that. This is done with the knowledge that Mashiach is here already. And like we're going to see a minor later on. But it's very important to recognize that it doesn't make any sense otherwise.
We're sitting here 30 years later trying to work back the sichos to figure out what happened. There were people there at the time who learned the sichos, came to the same conclusions we came to, and actually acted upon that. And they asked the Rebbe, well, what do you think of this? Do you approve? Are we doing the right thing? And contrary to 40 years of the Rebbe's Nesias, where such a thing would be crazy, and they would agree with a sharp mind how they're fighting a war against all the Rebbeim, here the Rebbe says, you're causing me a great pleasure. Please continue. This is fantastic. So to pretend like this never happened is, you simply don't know the facts. People understood the sichos to mean that we need to greet the Rebbe as Mashiach, and the Rebbe was very happy about it. So, case in point.
All right. Let's go to another one. All right. So, meine Holas Neshei B'nei Chabad Yerushalayim Ira Kodesh B'kesher Lekinus Shemataras Ichsimois Lekabos HaMalchus Shekvoit Kedushas Admir Shlita Melech HaMashiach. This is an answer to the administration of the women, the Neshei B'nei Chabad in Yerushalayim Ira Kodesh, in connection to the kinus, to a gathering, that its purpose, the reason why they gathered, was to gather signatures to accept the rulership, the kingship of the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach. And this is from V'hu Yigolenu. And the Rebbe's answer is, it should be in a auspicious, a good and auspicious hour, and we will mention it in the Tzion.
So again, this is clear as day. And this is another thing that people very much make fun of. I remember when I was in Alitaira, the Mashpia made a whole drasha with the whole yeshiva about this idea that we should sign the Kabul the Rebbe's Malchus as Melech HaMashiach. We should, and it was a whole event. But a few Bachim signed. Most Bachim kind of laughed at the whole idea as being silly and not real or made up or some crazy Meshachist things.
Wow.
It's a real thing. The Rebbe approved. The Rebbe was very happy about it. It's not just this mind on that. There's a whole. But this is one example of the Rebbe wanted people, or was happy at least, when people signed, or at the very least was okay with people signing signatures saying, "We accept you as the actual, real, bona fide Melech HaMashiach. We want to be your subjects. We want you to be our king, King Mashiach." Yeah, and like again, it needs to be stressed. This is a 180 shift from the Rebbe's previous policy on the subject. Let's see another one here. This is from Adar. So, we're switching back and forth here. What do we do? This one first?
This one, yeah.
All right. Yud Gimel Adarishin. Meine al Ducha Asifa. There was a gathering. She Skyma B770. Mitzay Shabbos Kei the Shisrei. So Mitzay Shabbos Kei the Shisrei was a gathering. So there's an earlier minor that we had, so Shin Yud Zayin, where we'll get to that in a second, I guess. And the Rebbe there in that minor said they asked about having people in the Chabad house to sign Chasimus to the Rebbe's Mashiach, and the Rebbe responded, "Totally b'tnai hamakim b'zeh." It depends on the place. Chabad shalasar levar. It's on the Chabad in each place. They should determine whether this is an appropriate activity for their Chabad house. And in connection with this amazing answer from the Rebbe, whereas till now the Rebbe is saying not to do this, here the Rebbe is like, well, if you want, it's up to you, whatever you say, which is an obvious major, okay. They're asking the Rebbe, should we be makabel you as in the Chabad houses as Melech HaMashiach? Have people sign signatures, and the Rebbe says it's up to you. So to celebrate this minor, they had a asifa, or was in connection with this minor. And the Rebbe says, "Ma grama." The Rebbe responded, "Laharbes," to increase the simcha with joy. It's Adar. Don't forget the b'chaflaim, a double shishim yom, because there was the two. It was an Iber that year, so to have a double Adar, and in general, the idea of simcha was something stressed a lot during those days, and we know obviously it was needed because a short number of days after this minor, was Chav Zayin Adar. So the Rebbe was the whole time trying to increase in joy, and again, Azkal al-Tzin. So again, we have a positive response to this idea of koching and farbringing, and this part. And you can watch the videos. And we have some of these farbringings that happened then in 770 and these events. You went to a farbringing then. This is what people were talking about. The Rebbe's Mashiach. The Rebbe is taking us out of Golos. This is happening. Let's get involved. This is important. That's how people understood it at the time. It's important to notice that. People come today and think we're making it up. There was a time when this was the reality. Now you have to ask yourself: Did Gimel Thomas change that? Did it? Didn't it? If it did, why? That can be discussed, but you have to first understand how things were understood then at the time, and not only were they understood then by the Chassidim, it was with the Rebbe's approval.
Next one.
Oh, this is
Meine Analysis Neshevenes Chabad al Duch Mekinos Haiseris Lavos Hamashiach She'erkai. An answer to the administration of Neshevenes Chabad on
they arranged,
from the Knesset by Doiver Bein Hashar Aderech HaTzarech Eres Midas HaMalchus Shamalach, that they in the conversation they spoke about the need to arouse the Midas HaMalchus, the attribute of rulership in the king, al didei Kabbalas HaMalchus, through the nation actually being Makabel, accepting the rulership, the special power of Achoiva, and the obligation shall Neshei Yisrael of the women of the Jewish women, Lavos HaGeula, to bring the redemption, and the importance, the special importance of the letter and the signatures of people accepting the rulership, the kingship of the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach. So the Rebbe answered, I will again mention it by the Oyel, the Hemshech, Lahamshech, Hatzlach Rabim V'nifla.
So it says Lamed,
Mikakal.
so Le'atzlach Rabba in a flaw, but after the Lamed in parentheses, Lahamshech. So to continue, Atzlach Rabba.
Wow, Baka Mikakal. That's right. Wow.
Which was, yeah. So this is an amazing mind. It's important to a little bit explain the chassidus here that was brought up. So there's a concept, the midah of malchus. There are seven emotions. Chesed, Gvur, Tiferes, Netzach, Yisrael, and Malchus. The seventh of emotion or attribute that a person has, and Hashem has as well, is the idea of kingship, rulership. This idea that you automatically, even though the people don't necessarily understand, they recognize you're greater than them. You're the king. You're in Yiddish you say Der Heiben. You're lifted up above the lashon of the pasuk. The language the pasuk uses in Shmuel about Shaul is that he was Meshich Mo'elamayla Gavay Mikalam. He was head and shoulders above the rest of the people. So the king, who's actually much greater than that, he would have to lower himself down to relate to the people in a way that they would recognize the fact that he's greater and appreciate his greatness. Because really, he's much greater than even being a king to people at all. He's just doing his own thing. He has no relation to them. So how does it work? This is what we actually do. It's coming up Rosh Hashanah. We blow shofar Rosh Hashanah, and we daven and we say the psukim of Malchiyas, Zechenis, and Shofars during the davening Musaf and Rosh Hashanah to arouse within Hashem the desire to once again lower himself down to be king over us. We need to arouse this power of kingship within him, this latent energy that needs to be built. We need to build it up because it's not there by itself. That there's a concept. To be king, it needs to be aroused by the people. The people bring out this idea in the king. They can arouse within him, this great king, a desire and more than that, the ability to lower himself down and express his power of kingship, that he's king, that he's greater than the people, to relate to them. And just like it is with Hashem, that we need to arouse within him this power every year, they said the same thing. We need to arouse within Melech HaMashiach, because it's not just a desire, it's also the ability. He needs to have the Malchus. Otherwise, he's just too lofty. He needs to downgrade himself to relate to the people. You could say that's really an upgrade, but this is the system. This is how kingship works. So we have to arouse it within him. How? You can't have a king without the people. Through Kabbalah Samalchus, people accepting his kingship. That's how it works. That's how you do it. Just like we do Rosh Hashanah. And the Rebbe says, I'm telling you again, I'll mention it again by this year, and you should continue. It's Lachat Rabban of Law. Back on Mikol in all regards, which was, and that was a little hint because the year in the base, and the fly is back on Mikol call. But very clearly, the Rebbe is saying this is a good activity to continue doing it. This is the correct time to do this. So that means Mashiach is here. Mashiach is revealed. We have to go greet him. This is not when you have a potential Mashiach, that's somebody who's just a holy Yid who, if we're Zeicha, he's the Nasi of the generation, and like the Alter Rebbe, nobody was writing ksav to the Alter Rebbe that accepting him as Melech HaMashiach. Nobody was writing any ksav to the Frierdiker Rebbe accepting him as Melech HaMashiach that I'm aware of. Although the Chassidim at the time knew that if they would be Zeicha to the Geula in his time, the Frierdiker Rebbe would be Mashiach. Okay, but they weren't Zeicha. In his when he was alive in this world, the Frierdiker Rebbe's Nasias. Here, the Rebbe is saying we were Zeicha. The Rebbe told us we don't have to guess. The Rebbe told us that we finished Avodah of Galus, and therefore Mashiach is Galus, and we're Zeicha. We need to greet him. So, and that was followed up by people actually giving in signatures, except Kaching. The Rebbe said we want you to be our King Mashiach, and the Rebbe says yes. Good. I approve. Keep doing this. You give me a lot of nachas.
And I appreciate it.
So that we should have no more stakers. You know, this is the right thing to do. Is it important to accept the Rebbe as, in particular as Mashiach? Emphatic, yes. Now, even if you'll bring other minus and other stories, you can't take away the fact that it matters who Mashiach is. There's this funny notion that people have that it doesn't matter who Mashiach is. For the life of me, I can't understand that, and that's crazy. It's like imagine Rosh Hashanah comes, and we don't care who we're crowning as king. Somebody. It could be the Eberster, it could be the flying spaghetti monster. As long as it's someone. It's not really Negeya. The point is that we keep Torah mitzvahs. Imagine someone said that. When we're davening in Rosh Hashanah, it doesn't really matter to who. It's not the point. The point is that we're Chas v'Shalom.
Blowing shofar. You're doing things. Do the things.
We're talking about there being a king. Which king? What's the difference? Whoever it is. What do you care? Do Torah mitzvahs. No, it's so ludicrous that I don't even know how. Okay, the mashal is not exactly daimel and nimshal, obviously, so don't get a. But just to show you how, if he's your king, what does it mean you don't care who he is? If you don't know who the king is going to be yet, that's a separate story. But here, the whole idea of you're accepting him as your king because of course it matters. Why would it not matter? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't compute. And you see here clearly that I was saying, yeah, he's accepting these signatures and receiving them and happy about it. That Rekachim did. That he, in particular, is Melech HaMashiach. So for sure, it matters. Do we have the Maina about Talib Chabad Lasar, the original Maina?
I think so.
It was Shin Yud Zayin. It brought it before.
Oh, not here. Yeah, it's not here. Okay, I'll find it.
We're gonna have to get it. Okay, let's read these other ones. Meanwhile.
Yeah. All right. Go.
This is wow. So, Maina. This is Vav Erev Shabbos Kodesh Tetzava. Maina Bekesher with his answer in connection to Lemichtav, a letter Shapir Samay Vad Rabban Lubavitch Aklali. So the Vad Rabban Lubavitch, the general Vad Rabban Lubavitch, put out a letter. Vad Rabban Chabad Be'eretz Kodesh of Eretz Yisrael, and the base in Tzedek Shonas Kohen Heights. So all these organizations came together to put out a letter. Bekesher with connection with Chasimas with these signatures. So there was children who were actually signing, accepting the Rebbe's Mashiach. And so the Rabbanim put out something in connection to this. There was something that happened in connection to these children signing, accepting the Rebbe as Mashiach, and the Rebbe responded with, again, Azkal al-Tzion. So this is a minor to Nachman Meir Bernard. That he wrote Chelek Petagam English, part is the translation from English. I am trying and Lifel to affect Shluchi Lubavitch Fun. What does that say?
Foundation. Lubavitch Foundation.
Lubavitch Foundation of Durham, Africa. There we go. Transliterated English into Hebrew. Yitzdarful, they should join in Lachsimas to the signatures, the Kabbalah Machos Chakadash Kamalach HaMashiach, to the Kabbalah, so accepting the yoke of the kingship of the Rebbe as Melech HaMashiach. Here it expresses itself, not just greeting Ki Melech HaMashiach, accepting the Rebbe as Melech HaMashiach. Vishi is Gala, and writing that the Rebbe should reveal himself fully and take us out of Galus. Nachain, it's proper le Achshav that now Durham, Africa, that South Africa beletes behei drusa b'neisei, it's encouragement in this topic. Is that what that means?
I guess.
Behemshech le ha fratzesise.
That's what I say. I don't know.
Either spreading or the French. I don't know. One of them. Let me know in the comments. I gotta brush up on my minus and Igris skills.
You got.
Reb Mendelipsker, again, he arranged Asifa Arucha in Shluchim, a big Asifa with Shluchim Lefnekaviyam a few days ago. Kulam Maskimim 100% Lanal. They all agree 100% that they should join into this signature signing business. Ella Shaha Mahasasim, the people are a little bit. They're a bit concerned. They're worried. They're not sure. Meaning, it seems to them that this is the right thing to do. We should sign, and that the Rebbe, we're accepting the Rebbe as our Melech HaMashiach, and we're asking that he should reveal himself. But we want to be 100% sure that the Rebbe is on board. Meaning, we're looking at the Rebbe sichos, we're putting our minds together, we're all 100% in agreement. This seems to us to be the right thing to do. We want to know if the Rebbe Shlit is on board. And they put in parentheses, benigud le'avar, as opposed to what it was till now. In the past, Shahara B'Shlita is bat the butter connected to Varam Kele. The Rebbe clearly expressed his opinion not to do it. Because this distances people from learning Chassidus. But people say, that now there seems to be many signs, like we keep mentioning, that now it's different. Now that's not a consideration. That is indeed actually a proper good thing now. To talk about everything Mashiach, to accept it as Mashiach. And therefore, they're brazen enough to ask, if is the time right? Ubikshu, as David Malcolm, this is now desired. That's the fulfillment of what it says. We say every week in every month. In Kiddush Levana, Ubikshu as David Malcolm, that and they asked for David, their king, that we're supposed to ask. There's this concept in English. We need to ask for the king. We need to ask him to be our king. That was the question. And the Rebbe responded, as previously mentioned, this depends on the type of place that it is, on the details, the Tanai of the place. And this depends on the Chabad in each place to figure out for themselves if this is something that this is an activity that's good for their place. The simen bechetzt with an arrow to the name of the shliach Menachem Lipsker, meaning it's up to him to decide. So,
whoa.
What's amazing about this minor is that the question is laid out so clearly, so black and white, that the Rebbe previously was very against it entirely because it's Merach people for Chassidus. We understand that this is a good thing to do 100%. We're all behind this, which is an important thing to remember, because when people were not behind it and they needed, so to speak, waited for the Rebbe to tell them, often the minor was different. But here they're writing, we're all 100% behind it. And now it seems like times have changed. And now there seems to be reasons why we should be koching the Rebbe's Mashiach and accepting him as our king. Kim Melech HaMashiach, as Melech HaMashiach. And the Rebbe says, right, so the Rebbe has a few options here, so to speak. He could say, nothing changed, as we spoke many times. This is destroying Chabad Chassidus and your Menach people from Yiddishkeit, terrible thing to do. But he doesn't say that, which means he's saying, actually, it's a good thing to do. You just have to know it's up to the Chabad in your place. I'm not going to tell you how to run your Chabad house, but this is totally a good thing to do. So
it seems very much that the Rebbe was saying that, yes, you're right, Hamatzav Ishtana, that the Matzav is different now. But if you're asking if specifically if this is that's already, figured out.
So maybe I'm reading into this a bit, but it sounds like to me you best make sure your Chabad house is the type of place where you figure out how to not be Medachi people, and meaning this is up to you. The Rebbe is saying it's totally b'Chabad al Asar. Yeah, we're not trying to be Medach people from Yiddishkeit, from Chassidus, but it's up to you to make your city and your town, your Chabad, as a place where people are able to receive it. This is clearly a good thing to aspire to. The Rebbe is not like, well, if you're bored and you ran out of Chassidus to teach them, I guess you could be Makabel as Mashiach, if you feel like that's a fun activity for your Chabad house, or don't, whatever. I mean, this is not that type of topic that it's like, either way, I don't know. It's a big deal, something that was such a big deal that till now it was totally banned. And now the Rebbe is saying, indeed, times have changed. Now we can do this. And you have other minors where the Rebbe is very happy, continue doing it. And here the Rebbe is saying, yeah, it's got to be Mitzad Mata. This is up to the Chabad in your place to decide. So I would think a chassid of the Rebbe hears this, he's so happy, he's ecstatic, he's jumping with joy. He's looking to prepare his Chabad house, that these people should be ready, that they can be zeicher, they should be greeting Mashiach. This is what it's all about. The Rebbe is here. The Rebbe is waiting for us to greet him as Mashiach. We shouldn't be trying to make our cities ready. Of course, this is what we're doing. This is very clearly the Rebbe is approving. So you can never again hear the Taina that nobody should be talking about this because of Menachi people. Instead, you should be figuring out how to make it not Menachi people. And like we've mentioned many times, most of the richuk is in our own heads, not in real life. But yeah, this is mind-boggling, strikingly clear minor.
Truly. There's another one. Also pretty huge. So this is a minor to David Nachshon, who we'll get to another thing which is pretty crazy, but this one is to Yisrael David Nachshon al duch mechagigas bar mitzvah shel b'nai, a duch from the celebration of his son's bar mitzvah. Ban noisa advarim, in midst of the duch be'inin kabbalas hamachos. David Nachshon mentioned about the concept of kabbalas hamachos of the Rebbe, and he connected and he added to the letter, he attached, thank you, signatures to accept the Rebbe's Mashiach, the kingship. The answer that the Rebbe responded is that it should be fulfilled in it, that one who has
in them.
in
200
them
wants 400.
wants 400. And I will mention it in the.
Meaning you should get even more signatures. The Rebbe Befair is telling them they should go collect more signatures. Amazing. Amazing stuff. So how is it that people go around saying that it's a bad thing? People don't say that. Yeah, there seems to be that the Rebbe approved it, and there's what talk about. People pretend like it was always 100% of the time bad thing, terrible thing, and how dare anyone even say yechi? People must be. It must be people just
don't know this, and that's why. That's hence the name of the.
Get the word out here. This stuff happens.
And it's right. It's very important because, especially for me, the first time I saw these answers, it was literally a shock. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what in the world?" Because for so long, it was like, okay, however you want to understand the sichos, that you make people to make it easier on them. They just say, you know what, that's your opinion. This is how you understand it. There's no objective truth. There's no, this is the way it was. It wasn't clear. The Rebbe never made it clear of what exactly he wants. But that's not true. Here, there are people here there are people doing things, and the Rebbe's answers are not vague. They're very clear answers that he appreciates what's going on. And like this answer is literally nuts, that the Rebbe said that it should be fulfilled in them, this concept of, I want more. Bring more. So that there should be more signatures.
The important thing that this removes is the time it doesn't matter who Mashiach is. No, it does. It matters. It's important. People will say there's no concept of it mattering at all who Mashiach is, and people bring to mind the Emetz Valachapes Miyu Mashiach, right? Whatever shot in the mind is, it doesn't change this. That it totally does matter, and it is important, and people should be greeting him. You want to kind of maybe not in my Chabad house because I'm not ready for it yet. We can have that discussion. But to say that it isn't important and that it doesn't matter is just incorrect.
Yeah. So now I want to get to, with regards to the Chabad house. I think this mina, for me personally, is the perfect answer to someone that says, not in my Chabad house. Meine Lashliach Rav Menachem Mendel Raskin shekasav shegia yachad im kvutza gdola Katlak, Montreal. Lechatz kachin l'Shabbos Parshas Vayetze. So this is Parshas Vayetze Chaz Kislev.
So this is some context here. Right after this Kenes HaShluchim, where the Rebbe lays down this groundbreaking, revolutionary idea that we're revamping the whole Chabad movement, and now it's all about, now Mashiach is Bezgalos, and the Eibishter revealed himself to him, and the Eibishter revealed himself to the Rebbe and told him, you are Melech HaMashiach, and I'm tasking you with the job to take the Eden out of Golos. And Shlichus is, as we know, it has been finished and completed, and the only thing left remaining now in the job of the Shluchim to bring the Gula is to greet the Rebbe as Mashiach. At least that's my understanding of the Sikha, and it seems to be his understanding as well. So that's, I guess, what he was trying to figure out.
Yeah, so let's
writing to the Rebbe based on that understanding of the Sikha.
Right. So he brings his community, a big group of people from his community to Kranites, to the Rebbe's Daled Amos. Uvikesh bracha, and he asks for bracha. Shabbos taver b'atzacha, that the Shabbos should be success. Kemat Mishnas Tzadik, the way it is.
Fitting with
fitting to the Shnas Tzadik. V'Shnas Niflos B'Akel. That was 90th birthday in Tafshin and Beis, and he continues that that we should be successful to infuse in all the people in the Shabbaton the recognition and the feeling the Mashiach and the revelation are here, already here.
So Mashiach's already revealed.
Correct. And what's left to do? All is left is to greet him. This
Mashiach was already revealed. We have to greet him. That's the only thing left. So not just that the Shliach himself should know this. The people in the Shabbaton should know it. The Chabad house people.
They should feel it. They should have this feeling. And they should be connected with heart and soul to the Rebbe. I'll think. So what's he asking? He's asking over here like this. He's asking that this is what you told us. The
key part of
Raskin is
this
telling
is he
us.
writes Kamosha Kosov in his bar sichos that he says this, that I'm saying that the only thing left is to greet the Rebbe's Mashiach. That Mashiach's already, they should know that Mashiach's already here and revealed, and the only thing left is we should greet Mashiach. He's saying because that's what it says in the Sikha. He's pinning this on, meaning some people want to say there's what the Rebbe said in the Sikha, and that's one thing, and that's just about Koching and Mashiach or something, and then there's minus about the random activities that people did. Here he's saying, like the Rebbe said in the Sikha, that's Taich in the Sikha.
Right. So for me, it's like this. For me, it's regardless. Like the Rebbe answers, and this concept, and it's the right time. Vazman grama, it's the appropriate time. I will mention it in the oil. So for me, it's like this. Very simple. Either you can be like all the other people that understood it simply, and they got together, they signed letters of Kabbalah Samachos, accepting the Rebbe, Admar Shlita Melech HaMashiach. That's either you could be like that, either you could be like that person, and even the person that we talked about in South Africa, he said everybody agrees that that's what we're all doing, and we really really want this, and we're all signing. But if you still have a question, if not necessarily you're not sure if it's important, if it's the time of writing and signing that the Rebbe is Melech HaMashiach, fine. That for you is Tali Chabad al Asar. Tali B'Tnai V'Zesha, whatever the answer was. But there's this, and this is from the Sikha. This is not like a thing that you can either be for it or not. You can either be comfortable with it or not. Is the concept that Mashiach and the Isgalus already happened. The revelation of Mashiach already happened. That is something that every single shliach has an obligation to tell his to infuse in his community the recognition and the feeling that he's already here, that the Hizgalus already happened. That is something that is not Tali B'Chabad al Asar. It's not dependent on a Chabad house if this is true. No, this is the truth. This is the reality of the situation. The reality is Mashiach came in Tufshin. We're not exactly sure, but we know that Mashiach came in Parshas Vayera. Parshas Vayera.
He was not yet.
It was between Noach and Vayera.
It seems pretty clear that it was between Noach and Vayera. Now, Mashiach is like a butternet and all the good things.
Yeah.
But as of Noach, the Rebbe told us we finished Avodah, and therefore Mashiach is supposed to come. And as that it was effective, and now we're Mashiach is Galus.
Right. So after Parshas Vayera, at that moment, once we were notified, once the Rebbe told us that the Isgalus already happened, that Mashiach is here, from that moment on, for the last 32 years, we are supposed to treat the situation as such. Mashiach is here. That is the way we should treat the situation. Now, did the Rebbe mean to tell everybody that what?
Do you have that graphic that you posted?
Yeah, the point is that we, regardless of if you think that it's important to tell everybody that the Rebbe is Mashiach, have an obligation to give everybody the feeling that Mashiach came, because it's true, because that's the truth.
Oh,
here,
waiting for Mashiach. He's waiting for you. All that remains is to welcome Mashiach. The Rebbe. Shabbos Parsha Chayestara, Tavshin and Bez. And that pretty much says it all.
That's it.
We're so busy waiting. When shall we be Zeicha? We were Zeicha to Mashiach. That's not the issue. We finished with Golos. That's not the issue. Mashiach is waiting for us.
Mashiach is waiting for us.
Mashiach's waiting for us. We're waiting for us to welcome him, to greet him, to not be embarrassed that he's Mashiach. How's he supposed to come and reveal himself if Zoch Chassidim are ashamed to talk about it? We're dealing with a technical issue here. This is so easy to fix, guys. This is good news. We could do it like this. He just wants to feel welcome. He wants people to be happy that he's here. That's all. At least that's the way it seems. Everyone should have banners. The Bible should have is Melech HaMashiach. We shouldn't be embarrassed with these banners. It's very good. Find a way to hit the message home in your community. The whole point is there is b'tachteinim. It should be with Kalim. So find a way to do it with Kalim.
And if you're having a hard time, be like Rabbi Raskin. Ask the Rebbe to help you, to give you, to ask the Rebbe for a bracha that you should be matzliach. Because that's the point.
This is shlichus now. To do this.
Right. For me, this letter right here is shlichus. Lahachdir b'chol anshe ha'ir. We'll say that. Ha'hakara ve'argosh asher Mashiach v'izgalos kfar poi v'tzarech sachak l'kam Mashiach tzedkenu. Period. End of story. Everything else, alles good and fine, is all understandings of different things. Again, we can argue from today to tomorrow about if the Rebbe wanted us to get signatures from Fry people or not. If the Rebbe wanted to get us to get signatures from each community, we can argue that fact. I mean, it's a fact, but I'm saying, you're asking me what the Rebbe wants me to do.
This is what he wants you to do.
This is what he wants you to do. You're asking me what the Rebbe said in the sicha. This is what the Rebbe said in the sicha.
And then
this is shlichus.
And then, after you understand all of this, I ask you, when it comes to ready to Tafshin and Gimel, and the Rebbe is encouraging a chi for a year, people come and say that Rebbe Chas v'Shalom wasn't whatever. He just wanted to be with the Chassidim, so he didn't protest. People want to paint this picture as if really he was going to protest because Yechi is such a horrible, terrible thing. What you really want to be with the Chassidim. You could see here that's just ignorant. People don't know, I guess, the minus. It's not true. Look at all these things, how much the Rebbe was approving people accepting him as Mashiach. This makes so much sense that the Rebbe encouraged Yechi. It's not like, oh, he got sick and then whatever, Gimel. No, it all made sense. We started off with the Rebbe says, I'm thinking about the Mashiach Tegula. Then the Rebbe lays out, the Rebbe becomes Nasi Adar. He accepts the Nasias from Dar Shvi. He says to them in the beginning, the first day, day one, we're bringing the Gula, we're making it happen. It's our shlichus. He has a plan. He goes, makes shlichus. He does the thing. Then he says, guys, we were successful in our plan. Shlichus worked. It was effective. Good job. High five. Forgive my my language over here. Let's do Kabbalah's Pnei Mashiach Tzedkenu. And people start writing in letters, Taka. The Chazan other happened. Then we have a year of the Gimel. And the Revaya went out yet Zeicha, we had Gimel Tammuz. But this doesn't change anything. The clock can't turn back from all this. This is for real. He's Melech HaMashiach. What? Gimel Tammuz ahead. We'll figure it out. Whatever. I've explained previously. The episode is the Rebbe Live. I think we spoke about it. This is not an issue. What's the alternative? That he's not Mashiach and the whole, we didn't finish the Avodah, so why are we still doing Shlichas? What's the point of that? Who's Shliach are we? To accomplish what? Shlichas accomplished what we're supposed to accomplish. Mashiach is Bezgalos now. They never told us what's left in the Avodah of Shlichas. That all the activities are there to the great Mashiach. So let's do it. Like,
share, subscribe, comment. Very important. I want to know what you think about this. And yeah.
Everyone should have written. Everyone for sure will be written and sealed. There's no doubt, and we'll already even before then be together with the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach in 770 in Shalayim in Akedesh in the Beis Hamikdash, like the Rebbe said in the Kedesh HaKadoshim.
Amen. We want Mashiach now.
ועד כדי כך המדב גולהוב מהדר עם זול מחי זין יחי המלך.